So today we're going to do a career video, and it's been a while since I've done a career video looking at a legendary MLS player, but today I, of course, are going to do that as we're going to look at the career of Jeff Larentowicz. And I was going to do the career video of Jeff Larentowicz a couple of weeks ago when he did announce his retirement from his playing career, and that I did say that I was going to definitely do a career video about him. But also when he decided to announce his retirement, it was also during that time when I already had a lot of videos that is in my mind of getting ready to upload that is related for the upcoming season. So that's why I didn't really have time to basically do a career video of Jeff Larentowicz until today, where we're going to look at a magnificent career that Jeff Larentowicz has had during his 16th season in MLS. And I will also say that I think he is considered one of the most underrated players in MLS history. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that this is a player that is only second and only behind Kyle Beckerman in terms of the all-time appearance leader in MLS. And anytime when you, of course, mention the name Kyle Beckerman, I think a lot of MLS fans and even some U.S. men's national team fan will know his name because he is such a legend in MLS, and especially with RSL and also during his time with the national team with the U.S. But if you throw the name Jeff Larentowicz, I don't think a lot of people will realize that this was also a guy that also had a legendary career and kind of also have similar career of what Kyle Beckerman has, where Kyle Beckerman was just such an Iron Man in MLS, being in the league for 20 plus season and the only players to do so. Well, Jeff Larentowicz himself has also been in the league for a very long time, been in the league 16 season, and also end up racking up 400 plus appearances during his time. Now, he started his career all the way back to 2001 when he attended Brown University and he played college soccer with that university. And during his free season with Brown University, he was able to make 66 appearances and was able to score 7 goals with that team. But then in 2005, when he went to the Super Draft, he actually did not get drafted in the Super Draft until the 45th pick, which I think at that time it was maybe like the late second or early third round before he was picked up by the New England Revolution. So this was not a guy that a lot of people was thinking that he is definitely one of the brightest star coming out of college. And also during that time in the Super Draft, this is also during a time in MLS where the Super Draft is still a very important thing, and the Super Draft is kind of viewed as similar to what you see other draft with the other leagues here in the US, like the NBA, MLB, and also in the NFL, where you definitely want to take the Super draft seriously because you're going to find some hidden gems in that draft and you're going to find some good player coming out of college. But knowing the fact that Jeff Larentowicz was picked in the 45th pick, not a lot of people think that he was going to be a guy that would have an incredible career. Now, during his first season with New England, he only played 1 game and didn't start in that one, and only played 1 minute during that season. Now, this was also the time when he was actually loaned to a USL League 2 club, so that is the reason why he didn't really play for New England pretty much throughout the entire season. But he did eventually make his breakthrough in 2006 with New England, where he was able to play 26 games, started 19 of them, and play 1,974 minutes, score a goal, and also assisted 1 during that season. And he also was joining a New England team where I would say he was joining a New England team that was kind of the missing dynasty of MLS. And the reason why I say it's the missing dynasty of MLS is because New England during the mid-2000s, they were the dominant force of MLS. I mean, they reached MLS Cup during 2005 and 2007 stretch 3 years in a row, and you could even say that they were kind of like the Buffalo Bills of MLS, where this is a team that regularly reached MLS Cup, but unfortunately they have the dubious honor of losing 3 straight MLS Cup, and unfortunately Jeff Larentowicz was a big part of it, especially in the 2 of the 3 season when they reached MLS Cup. That was back in 2006 and 2007. But in 2007, he actually started all his games that he appeared in, played 2,455 minutes, scored 3 goals and assisted 4. And again, he of course reached MLS Cup for the 3rd year in a row. But just like last year when he was part of that New England team that made it to MLS Cup, and they were playing against the Houston Dynamo. They lost to the same team again, and I think this was also the game. I'm not quite sure, was it this one or was it in 2006 was the game when the refs play against the Dynamo, and this one was at Toyota Park in Dallas, and that was the game when Taylor Twellman, of course, score a goal in stoppage time, but then 1 minute later, Brian Chan immediately equalized for the Dynamo, and I think that was the 2007 MLS Cup and not the 2006 one, or I might have got that one wrong. But yeah, unfortunately, his early career was definitely part of a New England team that definitely suffered a lot of heartbreak. But the good news for Larentowicz is that eventually he would get himself lifting that famous trophy a little bit later in his career. Now, in the very next year, he, of course, once again started all 28 of the games, played 2,437 minutes, scored 4 goals, and made 2 assists, while in the following season, he pretty much did the same thing in terms of start and appearances. Started all 28 games that he, of course, played 2,438 minutes, 1 goal, and 2 assists to his name before he was actually traded to the Colorado Rapids in 2010 during the offseason. And in his first season with the Colorado Rapids, he, of course, was part of that Rapids team that was, I said before that this Rapids team is kind of the last team where we actually see an MLS team ended a long MLS Cup drought, where this was a Rapids team that unfortunately was one of the 5 teams in MLS that was the founding member and was kind of the original team in MLS when the league all started in 1996 to win an MLS Cup. But that, of course, all changed in 2010 when he was part of that team that, of course, won MLS Cup and pretty much went on that Cinderella run to be able to beat FC Dallas in that MLS Cup in 2010. But, during that stretch in the regular season, he played 30 games, started 29 of them, played 2,617 minutes, and scored 4 goals and 1 assist during that time. Now, in the very next year, he actually played all 34 games that the Colorado Rapids were in, played 3,015 minutes, scored 7 goals and 1 assist, and this was actually the most that he has ever had in his career. And this was actually even a career year for him, with me talking about how he had played the most that he has ever done in his career, but also he played the most minutes and also scored the most goal that he has ever had in his career. Now, the very next season, he was again part of this Rapids team that, play almost every single game, played 32 of the 34 games, and also started all of the games that he have appeared. 2,779 minutes he played, scored 3 goals and no assists, but that was also the last year that he was with the Colorado Rapids, and this was also kind of during the time when the Rapids were started to kind of, well, I wouldn't say they were kind of declining, because I believe the Rapids would make the playoffs the very next year, but this was also kind of the beginning of the time where the Rapids once again started to decline again. So which club he decided to join to maybe get himself back to a team that could compete for MLS Cup or potentially compete in the playoffs? Well, he decided to join the Chicago Fire, which I don't think that was the right choice in terms of if he wants to join a team that competes for the playoffs or even compete for MLS Cup, because this was also during the time when the Chicago Fire was pretty much starting this long spell of period where they pretty much was a basement dweller in the Eastern Conference. But during his first season with the Fire, he of course played 32 games, started 31 of them, played 2,807 minutes, scored 2 goals and 4 assists. The very next year, he played all but one game that season and start all of those games with 33 games started and 33 appearances. 2,970 minutes, scored 6 goals and 3 assists during that season, and I think that was probably the most goal and assists that he has scored throughout his career. In fact, that of course is the case, because with the goals and assists that he has, which was not 9 if you combine both of them, that is more than any of the mark that he has throughout his career. But the very next season, he of course started 29 games and also played all the games that he started. Now, he did kind of suffer a bit of a knock during that season, but he still of course was able to appear all but 4 games with the team. Played 2,610 minutes, scored 6 goals, but didn't register an assist before he actually got got traded to the Galaxy in the offseason, and this is kind of the trade where, you know, he was kind of fed up the fact that he was being with a team that was going nowhere and was a team that usually are finishing near the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So he decided to join a Galaxy team that, you know, this is also a team that I think in 2016 they were kind of having maybe one last hurrah before you know the Galaxy started to go on a very bad stretch in their history. But during that season, he of course played only 23 games, started 17 of them, and played 1,496 minutes and scored 1 goal and assisted 1. And also, by the time when he was joining with the Galaxy, he was already 33 years old. So it's understandable why his minutes started to kind of decline a little bit, because, you know, with him being with different clubs, and at that time that was his 4th club in his career, you're going to see teams that, you know, if he is going to potentially get traded to another team, he probably is not going to get as much minutes as he would want to do. But that is unless if he get traded to this brand new expansion team called Atlanta United, which is exactly what he did in 2017 as he was joining the expansion team. And it seemed like that expansion team, Atlanta United, decided to kind of think that he is one of their most important player in that defensive mid position, and they basically gave him pretty much all the starts during that season. As he played 33 games, started 30 of them, played 2,602 minutes, registered 1 goal and 1 assist during that season. And then the very next year, when that expansion team went up to win the second MLS Cup, he of course played every single game and started 33 games and played 2,271 minutes, scored 1 goal and 2 assists. And as I mentioned, that was also the season when Atlanta United win MLS Cup, and he would get his hands in that trophy for the second time in his career. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or actually no, I don't think he was the captain of this team in 2018. I think it was still Brad Guzan that was the captain of this team. But yeah, you know, he's got to be very happy the fact that even though his career is definitely dwindling down, he's still able to join a very good team and now able to win the MLS Cup for the second time in his career. Now in 2019, he did started to kind of slow down, and Atlanta didn't really give him as much start as his previous 2 seasons. He only played 27 games, started only 15 of them, played 1,465 minutes, did score a goal and only registered one assist. And I think this was the only year besides the 2005 season in his rookie year where he actually didn't register a goal. But he still won some silverware during that season. Won the U.S. Open Cup with Atlanta, which was his second one, and the first one I actually didn't mention, but he actually did win a U.S. Open Cup with the New England Revolution all the way back to 2007. And then in 2020, which turns out to be his final season in his career, he of course played 19 games, only started 11 of them, played 1,111 minutes, scored 2 goals and assisted 1 during his final season. But you know, as we know from this past offseason, Atlanta decided to not pick up his option, and whether for Jeff Larentowicz potentially going to find a new club and potentially joining his 6th MLS club in his career, he decided to hang it up just a couple of weeks ago. And in the end, in terms of the total appearance list, 437 games that he of course have appeared, only second to Kyle Beckerman, who currently leads the all-time list in terms of appearance leader in MLS. Started 397 games, played 35,884 minutes. That's good for 5th of all-time list in terms of minutes that is played in MLS history. 42 goals that he scored throughout his career, and assisted 34 goals throughout his career too. So yeah, I mean, what a career that Larentowicz has had. And again, it is a career that I think a lot of people kind of underappreciate how good he is, and a guy that I don't think, you know, down the line maybe a lot of people would know that he is actually a guy that is considered another Iron Man of MLS, that have pretty much played almost every single game throughout his career. And I guess maybe the reason why some people might say that Jeff Larentowicz doesn't have that same fame as some of these guys that have made a lot of appearance like Chad Marshall or Kevin Hartman or even Nick Rimando. And as I mentioned with Kyle Beckerman, is because he hasn't really been joining. He wasn't part of a club that he's been with for a very long time. I mean, I wouldn't say he was kind of a journeyman because he's only been with 5 MLS club. And you know, if you are you want to consider a guy that is journeyman, I would say maybe he has to like join 7 or 8 club, or kind of like what Kai Kamara is right now, where I think he is really what we call the true journeyman of MLS, kind of bounce around the league. But still, he of course did join 5 MLS club during his career. And when you join a lot of club, and especially joining those teams for a short amount of period, you're probably not going to have as a legendary status as a guy that has stayed with the club throughout his entire career. Like if Jeff Larentowicz would have stayed with New England throughout his entire career, or even up until when he got traded to Atlanta United, maybe he would have considered a legend for New England. But that being said, we also have seen players before that has been very recognized, but they have played with different clubs in MLS. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that he never really get that fame that I think he would deserve. And I hope when MLS does decided to release the all-time player list and the all-time greats again down the line, or maybe when they do have the 50th anniversary and they release who is the 50 greatest player in MLS, maybe Larentowicz would get a consideration, or at the very least, get an honorable mention, because it's been an incredible career that Jeff Larentowicz had, in a career that I would also say it's kind of interesting too, where, you know, the time where he really started. He was able to win some silverware and had some success, or have some success with his team. Usually or had some success with his team actually came right near the beginning and at the end of his career. And when he was kind of at his peak of his power, he unfortunately was kind of joining these teams that weren't really doing very well. And maybe that's also another reason why a lot of people don't give him a lot of fame status, and I've heard him a lot because, you know, he's been with some bad teams before. But then again, we also seen players that has been with bad teams and hasn't made a lot of appearance with them, and hasn't been in the playoffs for a very long time, and they also are considered legends. So it's kind of still a mystery of why Jeff Larentowicz doesn't give as much love as people would give him, and much fame that I think he would deserve. But you know, I think overall, by doing this career video, hopefully people will now know the name Jeff Larentowicz. That's now, and that maybe down the line he would be considered one of the best player and one of the best defensive mid player that have ever played in this league. But yeah, there you have it. That is pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this video? And as always, let me know in the comments below if you are an Atlanta fan, or even a Chicago Fire, or even maybe a New England fan. What's your favorite memory, or also a Colorado Rapids fan? I don't want to forget to mention that he also played for the Rapids, and that was one of the team that he, of course, won an MLS Cup during his career. Let me know in the comments below if you're a fan of those teams. What's your favorite memory of Jeff Larentowicz when he used to play for your team? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.